Good morning. Welcome into the form for another week. We've got so much to talk about once again this week. So that means we've got the full team in with Tauranga and the fielding meeting at Trentham. So we welcome Letha Innes, Bevan Sweeney and Aidan Rodley as usual in Melbourne currently, and so much to look forward to on the show. So let's have a look what's coming up on the agenda. We'll be starting with our feature previews out of Trentham, the Fielding Gold Cup and the Red Craze Bowl. The racetrack is our Oz preview. Of course, we've got the Victorian Derby to look forward to, and in Sydney we do see Legato run around in the Golden Eagle. The weekend highlights out of Tauranga, we'll be taking a look at two key races there and our best bets to round out the show. Our feature preview this week is out of Trentham. It's the fielding meeting. We look forward to the Fielding Gold Cup and the Red Craze Bowl. So Bevan Sweeney, I'll say a very good morning to you. We've had some nice weather around the country. Can we expect a good track on Saturday?
Yeah, morning team. At the present moment it's a soft 5, but there is a little bit of rain forecast across Friday and into Saturday morning. So I don't think there's enough to make it get into that sort of heavy range, but I don't think there's much of a chance of it being upgraded. So we're looking in that soft range. I'm not sure exactly what level it'll get to, but it'll be decent sort of footing for Saturday at least.
And hopefully that wind can stay away in Wellington and we get plenty of patrons on course, because we look forward to this race number 7. It is the Mode Technology Fielding Cup, and One Bold Cat, $4 heads the betting. He's just moved in slightly too from his opening quote of $4.50. You Are a Star at $5 and Semper Magico at $6. The only other runner really supported at this stage in the market.
Yeah, it looks like a good solid tempo in this race. Bully Boy's drawn one from the outside, and Keenest Spades looks like the natural leader from Barrier 1. A horse like Wasaki, You Are a Star, probably going to get back, and the One Bold Cat's in that sort of mid field range where you can probably just get over in midfield on the rail, one off.
Yeah, well, we saw him last time having to go back from a wide alley, One Bold Cat, and he is the first runner that we want to highlight for you. And it was pretty eye-catching here, Sweens, making up ground from last at the 200 metres to fly into 4th.
You're going to see this video a couple of times because One Bold Cat is also my race tracker. This is a race won by a good horse on a day where they didn't really make a lot of ground up. Just as dramatic hits the front. But the last bit of work from One Bold Cat, I was a little bit gobsmacked about, just with the way the races have been run on that program. And I think coming into this race looks right on the mark, Leith, and a horse that might just take out a decent sort of cup this summer. Yeah,
like you said, Bevan, it was a really on-speed sort of race. For him to make up the ground like he did, he had the red light flashing, and he's a pretty easy pick this week.
Well, he's the favourite. What about the second favourite here? You Are a Star. Let's take a look at the last start performance when finishing second. Obviously, Semper Magico's in this race as well, went third. And it was a pretty game effort here, Bevan, under the big weight of 60 kilos to take ground off the winner late.
Yeah, there's also LJ in my shadow. So this is a real tune-up for the New Zealand Cup. Look, this horse has had its injury problems. Won the Auckland Cup. Gee, it pulled this day, and I thought it won't be finishing it off. But I think this mare is coming up really, really well for a tilt at the New Zealand Cup, albeit she'll get a lot of weight. They might just Leith return to a little bit of front-running tactics as they did in that Auckland Cup, because I think she's going well enough to win it off the front.
Yeah, it was a well-timed ride by Billy Pinn last year in the Auckland Cup, and look, like you said, she's coming into really good form. I know she's got a big weight this week, but you know, they'll be using it as a good lead up to the New Zealand Cup, and yeah, I'm not scared to spec her at $8 in the New Zealand Cup, that's for sure.
Yeah, those are the ones that the boys want to highlight. So who's the one for you on top, Bevan?
Gee, I can't wait for that New Zealand Cup. It's going to be a cracking race amongst especially the CD trainers who will be fighting out and behind the scenes. But I think One Bold Cat just really caught my eye. I've spoken to Robbie. The horse is flying. She might need to get a little bit closer to get across the top of them on Saturday, but I think she's going the right way and deserved favourite in top selection.
Yeah, I'm with you as well, Bevan. Look, the riding was on the wall last start. You think the step up to 2,100 metres. Craig Grills has won on the horse before. And just the gate where it does look like there's going to be nice even tempo where you can just park in midfield, one off the rail somewhere and unleash a big sprint last 600 metres.
And the guys have mentioned the New Zealand Cup. Don't forget to check out those future markets. Prices could skinny in after Saturdays. We now take a look at the other feature, race number 5 on the program. This is the Courtesy Ford Red Craze Bowl, open handicap over the 1,400 metres. Ventura favourite at $5, Farioni at $6, Not of the Head at $6.50. Old Town Road, perfect scenario. The other two runners in single figures at 7s and Soldier Boy at 9s.
Yeah, there's sort of a lot of these horses are drawn out a bit. It's a big field. It's quite hard to see who's going to lead. Probably Deerfield over 1,400 metres. Old Town Road will go forward, and like you're going to have those horses like Pintura getting a perfect run, and just in behind the speed and Soldier Boy.
Well, they'll be certainly hoping for that with Pintura, because we'll take you back to the last start second at Te Rapa, and I think it's a case, Bevan, where if you were on this day, you might want to close your eyes because he just couldn't get a gap till late.
Yeah, well, my eyes are closed, Pip. They were closed at this stage as well, because there was 2 or 3 occasions in the run home that this horse just got stopped in its track, and it simply should have won. It's just whether it's placed the right position in the market, and I thought this market was a little bit of a head scratcher when it did come out, but it should have won this day, Lethan. A horse that's been to Aussie and has great experience.
Yeah, there's no doubt Lemmy could have done a couple of things different there. Look, he's been shut out about 3 or 4 times, and look, that race, it was a little bit on speed, but from gate 4 on Saturday, she looks well placed just behind the leaders.
She really does, but then what about this class mare in Belclair? We'll take you back to her finishing 4th in the Foxbridge Plate. I mean, this was a super run, Bevan, and is it just the off tracks you think that's really caught her out in the last 2?
Well, I'm sort of putting a line through the Hara form to a degree, where she ran last start, because it was just a day that threw up a lot of big prices. I thought she was fantastic here. I actually thought she was really good at Hastings, good enough to be much better than a $10 shot in this market. That price blew me away. I thought she'd be verging on favourite. If you take that run at Hara out of her profile, then she's the top selection really in my mind. She is a Group 1 winner, and $10 in this race, I was a bit surprised.
Yeah, she gets 3 kilos off her back as well. She's got a tricky gate 10. Look, I think she wants the improved track. I'm not sure if she's going to get it this week. And like you said, I just put a line for that race last start, where that track was a heavy 10 last time. It was nowhere near soft at Hara.
Yeah, if she gets that track, look out for her. And then what about this runner, Farrellione? We'll take you back to her finishing a 3rd last time out. This was on a Premier meeting, 2 Sweens over the 1,400 metres.
She's a good mare. She really is a good mare, and of course she'll get in down the bottom on Saturday. However, I just don't really like her price. I think she's capable enough, and they've sort of been looking for a race like this for her, but this is a good effort. She steps up a little bit in class on Saturday, so price-driven me. Look, I'm not really interested in the price, but she's a good mare.
Yeah, she's very honest. You'd love to own her. She never runs a bad race. Just the question mark, she's drawn 14. It's going to be quite tough from out there. But she'll put in that honest performance again, though. She's probably a top 3 chance.
Those are the runners we want to take a look at. So who's the bet in the race for you, Bevan?
Well, I think Pintura comes into it as the clear top selection. However, I'm going price-driven in this particular race for the punters at home. I just couldn't believe the money around Belclair. If they don't get too much rain at Trentham, she'll get a track condition to suit. She'll love the big wide open spaces. If she runs up to her best, she will win this race, and I don't think $10 was too bad. In fact, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Pintura. I think Lemmy Douglas, he owes the connections and the trainer a win, and they've stuck with him this week. Barrier 4 again, 3 kilos off her back. Yeah, I'm sure she's due a winning turn.
There you go, that's a look at the 2 features out of Trentham. Make sure you tune in to the Punters Lounge live nice and early, 11 a.m. with Brendan Popwell to get all the key info. It's a racetracker time on the form, horses or greyhounds that we think you should be following, and we'll start with Leith Innes as per usual. Leith, you want to unpack the Soliloquy Stakes? Yeah, last Saturday at Pukekohe, obviously we all saw what happened, but out of the race, I think one of probably 4 horses can still come out and win the 1,000 guineas. Obviously we all saw Luberon run out badly. She's trialling today at Cambridge. She's got side winkers on. They didn't go very hard in the race, and it turned to a bit of a sprint home. You can see her take off sideways now. Impenda Bell's gone out into Telsey. And then late in the piece, Impenda Bell's come in while Mary Shan and Molly Bloom were flying home. Impenda Bell she's done pretty much everything right, but just the other 2 runs in the race, Mary Shan and Molly Bloom, I think they could be the 2 I'm picking now in the 1,000 guineas.
I thought Glamour Coon was pretty good there as well, Leith, for Stephen Marsh. I've already showed you this video. My race tracker will be running Saturday for Robbie Patterson. One Bulkhead. I thought this was an exceptional performance on a day where they didn't make up a lot of ground, and this was a leader-dominated race. When you watch the video, you'd be back in Crossroads somewhere as well, because that horse is going to come with One Bulkhead. But I think One Bulkhead is a horse that is really going to step up to a decent sort of cup horse this preparation. I think the $4 on Saturday is a very good price.
Rather than a race tracker for me, I'm going for a track work tracker, a horse who's really caught our eye here in Melbourne, certainly at Flemington on Tuesday. This is the Melbourne Cup favourite. It is Vauban, who ran beautifully at Flemington on Tuesday. He's been tracked by his stablemate Absurd, and again this morning here at Werribee today. We've seen him go around again, just the track work's the same every time. He'll lead out Absurd sort of 5 or 6 lengths. They're a little bit closer on the line today than what we've seen them. We've seen them in 3 or 4 times now, but boy, he's going around really, really well. He's got a beautiful action. His ratings are through the roof for this Melbourne Cup, and I think he's the horse to beat next Tuesday.
I like it, Aidan. A Melbourne Cup tip already, and I'm going to take you to a greyhound who heads around in a heat for the New Zealand Cup. This is Blazing Master, pushing Federal Infrared, who's the favourite for the whole series, right to the line on Friday night at Hattrick Raceway. This is over the same distance, 520 metres, that the New Zealand Cup will be run. But down at Addington, I find it's a harder 520 metres than it is at Hattrick. It's a bigger, roomier track. And if he can make his way through to the final, I definitely think he makes his way through to the semi-final looking at his heat. It's not as strong as it has been in previous years, this New Zealand Cup series, looking through the fields. I really like his price. He's $13 to win the whole thing. He's $4.20 to run top 3. He's a Group 1 New Zealand Derby winner, Blazing Master, and he's got the strength on his side, so he's the tip for mine in the New Zealand Cup if you're looking for a bit of value. Let's have a look at a summary of our race trackers. Impendable for Tony Pike, One Bold Cat for Robbie Patterson, Blazing Master for Lisa Cole, and Vauban there for Willie Mullins. That's what we're liking. Note them down, tab.co.nz, and pop them in your race trackers. The Spring Racing Carnival continues in Australia, and we look forward to the Victorian Derby in Melbourne, and we'll touch in with Aidan Rodley, who's on the ground. What weather and track conditions can we expect leading into Saturday, Aidan?
Well, at the moment it's pretty cloudy. It's pretty cool at the moment as well. High of 18 degrees today as we speak, but there's no rain of any substance in that forecast, so hopefully we will see racing on a good fall. With this this cool weather that we've had basically through the week, they shouldn't have had to worry too much about irrigation, but that track will be nigh on perfect. We got there and saw that breakfast session on Tuesday, and boy, that track is an amazing order. It's an amazing racecourse, certainly my favourite racecourse that I've been to anywhere, and we're looking forward to one of the big days on the Australasian racing calendar, Derby Day.
Oh, we certainly are, Aidan. So let's take a look at the market for the Penfolds Victorian Derby. It is race number 7. Riff Rocket is the favourite at $2.30 for Chris Waller and James McDonald. Apulia at $4 for the Hayes team, and Verdad at $7, the only other runner in single figures. Across the page, you can see the outsiders, to be frank, Sacred Eagle at around the $61 quote. Let's talk about Riff Rocket, and we'll take you back to his last start performance. Now, he was a beaten favourite here last time at Caulfield, Aidan. What's the report on the horse since?
Oh, wow, didn't Opie Bosson just take them along at a pedestrian speed? This race apparently was the 7th slowest time ever run for this distance, so just undone by the really slow speed, and Sunsets was pretty good in being able to turn the tables on Riff Rocket. Riff Rocket was very good in the superimpose a couple of starts back at Flemington. I think that's a key form line, and really that day he just left them standing. That was a performance of rare quality. If you're forgiving of his run in behind Sunsets in what was a really slowly run Vase at Moonee Valley last time out, then I think he's the horse to beat. He was sent out, what, $1.20 favourite that day. So on that performance, he's got to be the horse to beat. But this is a really even derby. If there's any chinks in that armour of Riff Rocket, then anything could win.
Yeah, I'm with you. Look, he looked super when he was at Flemington. The big roomy track suits him. J-Mac on, gate 4. But, you know, like you said, Aidan, it's a big field of 16. A few of those horses won't get the distance. You know, James will be hopefully getting out sort of 500 metres from home and getting a clear run. But, you know, what he done 2 starts ago, he's a big plus for me. I can't see him really getting beat.
And they'll now take a look at the second favourite, Apulia, and the Hayes team, Aidan. They went oh so close in the Cox Plate. What do you make of their chance here, Apulia, after taking out the Vase at the Valley?
Well, the race that we've just seen, the Sunsets race, he's finished into 4th in that race. So, again, I think you've got to be forgiving of anything in behind. And obviously, they backed up 7 days later, and he comes up with a performance like this. It was a really good win in the Vase. But, yeah, he's 4th in behind Obviously there was the Caulfield run that was so pedestrian run, but this win last time out in the Vars, very good. Leith, I'm not too sure. He's got to be able to turn the tables on both Riff Rocket and Sunsets from a couple of starts back, but I guess you can be forgiving of the pace that day.
Yeah, look, he's won in the race. He's definitely going to get the 2,400 metres, being by Ferrante. His father won the Melbourne Cup. Look, it's not like the Hazes. They've got him super fit. He's running third time in 3 weeks. So, yeah, he's definitely going to get the trip and probably looks like the main danger.
That's a look at the two favourites. So, Aidan Rodley, we'll head to you. Who's your bet in the Victorian Derby?
Well, I think you've got to be with Riff Rocket, but he's short enough considering that he was just out sprinted last time out. But on the Flemington run from a couple of starts back, he's definitely the horse to beat. Out of that Norman Robinson run, maybe Gold Bullion just at a big price. I don't think he's the worst chance in the race for Kiwi rider Opie Bosson too.
Yeah, Opie's got some really good rides on the day and good to see him out there. I'm with Rocket. I think J Mac, barrier 4, he'll just put him to sleep somewhere and he'll produce him sort of 500 metres from home, and obviously Chris Wallace set him for this race as well.
There you go, that's what the guys are liking in the Victorian Derby. Now let's move to race number 6, the Group 1 Coolmore Stud Stakes over the 1,200 metres. You can see Cylinder heads the betting at $3.80 clearly. Then you've got Shinzo at 7s, King's Gambit at $8 and Sea Party at the $11 quote. So that race gets underway at $5.40. Across the page you can see a bit more of the outsiders, including Butch Cassidy at $26. So let's have a look at another Chris Waller runner, and we'll take you back to Shinzo running in the Everest. What did you make of the run, Aidan?
I thought the run was first class. Here's a horse who's going really well. You're coming out of an Everest as a 3-year-old. Prior to that, he'd won the Vane Stakes. He'd won the Run to the Roses and third in the Golden Rose. I think he's a high-quality horse. Also in here, Shinzo's run wasn't too bad, but if you compare the two of them, I think Cylinders is the superior one. Leith, what was your take on the Everest runs of the 3-year-olds?
Obviously, Cylinder was massive, wasn't he? He was caught wide, never got in, and look, I think Shinzo, they've set him for this race. It's sponsored by Coolmore. I'm willing to sort of just forgive his run in the Everest a little bit.
Now let's also have a look at Sea Party. Now this is an $11 shot, and we'll take you back to the horse in the Caulfield Guineas on October the 14th, and this was quite a performance, Aidan, for third.
Yeah, it sure was, and this is the first defeat in Steparty's career, a 3-year-old colt who's looked very good coming through. He was 5 for 5 prior to this. He's unbeaten in a couple out of Flemington, so no concerns about getting down the straight track as well. And he just looks like a winner. Paul Pruska does such a good job with his horses, Leith. I think he's a really good chance, especially dropping back in distance for this Coolmore.
Yeah, obviously he's had a bit of a freshen up for this race as well, and like you said, he's won at Flemington before. That's 1,200 metres going to suit him. One little negative, maybe the inside draw if they are getting to the outside fence for the race.
Looks like a really open affair, Aidan. So who's your selection in the Group 1 Coolmore?
I'm going to go Cylinder. It's a field, as we know, that is always full of quality and so much on the line, especially for the colts, because you know there's probably not only the stake money in this that they get, but the multiple millions, the $20-30 million that they might get for their stud careers as well. But from what we saw out of the Everest, I'm really happy to go with Cylinder here. Yeah,
I'm going to go for the Chris Waller train, Shinzo. Look, Coolmore sponsored the race. They've had this. It's been a main target for them for a long time. And look, for J Mac, barrier 4, if he gets on the right part of the track, the colt by Snitzel, who'll be standing at stud next season, I'm picking.
Yeah, we know Chris Waller likes to head to Victoria and take the spoils. And what about, of course, the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday? Well, we do see Ladies Man. He is trying to keep his way into the field, so he has to have a run on Saturday, Aidan. He's at $8 in the market. What's the latest on him?
Well, the latest is that Alan Sharrock always wanted to take this pathway, and anyhow, he wanted that tune-up run, but boy, the permutations this week. He was number 25 when the latest order of entry came out. Then we heard on Wednesday afternoon that Annabelle Nation was withdrawing 2 of hers. We thought, oh, he's up to 23, but actually one of those horses was behind him, so he was at 24. The Bendigo Cup winner Interpretation jumped in front of him, so then he goes back to 25, and now he is in desperate need to get into this race. The horses who are going around in this Archer quality, the Archer Stakes this weekend, none of them need to to be dropping out. There's no horse that's going to drop out in front of him, so the pressure really is on now. He probably needs to be winning to confirm a spot in the Melbourne Cup, unless we see something go wrong or that Connections have second thoughts on a runner in the field. We went out and saw him earlier this week. He's in very good order, and we know he'll run a race if he gets to the 3,200 metres on Tuesday. But this one here, I'm just not so sure. It's a sticky situation for Alan Sharrock. Either he gets him to the Cup on Tuesday in the best possible order with the run that he wants in the Archer Stakes, or else he has to win it and maybe risk not having him at his best on the Tuesday. What about you, Leith? How did you see how he'd go in this?
Yeah, look, I reckon he's a forgotten horse. Obviously, the Australians don't rate the Group 1s in New Zealand, and he's at $8. I know he's got 59 kilos, but, you know, you go for the form of the field, I don't think any of the horses in the race could actually come out and win the Livermore. Look, I know it's a lead-up for the Melbourne Cup, but I still think he's good enough to win it.
Yeah, I hope he gets in, because he's $51 currently in that Melbourne Cup market as well. Well, we're going to change states and we're going to head to Rose Hill, because we have to have a look at the $10 million Golden Eagle featuring the Kiwi Legato. She's at $8.50 in the market. Favourites Hawaii 5-0 comes out of the Everest at $4.20. Amelia's Jewel also at $4.20. She's your joint favourite. So let's talk about a couple of them as we take a look across the page. And we'll start with the Kiwi here in Legato. Take a look at her winning last time out in the Mata Cup. And look, she was very, very good here. Just shows she's right back in the good form, Maiden.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this has actually been the perfect lead-up. He was going to go a week earlier to Hastings, and now he's had a closer run in at Mata. This is a soft win, even though he's beating high-quality horses. You know, Aquacade and La Creek, they're good horses. We know that. So what she's doing is she's tuning up in the right sort of style. She's had an exhibition gallop. Ken would have her perfectly positioned for this race. We've spoken to Mick D. He's got real confidence in this horse because he did win that Australian Guineas on her, and she was phenomenal that day. If she's anywhere near her peak, this is a really good quality renewal of the Golden Eagle, but boy, we know that she is well capable of winning this.
Yeah, this is a class sort of field, but you know, she's drawn gate 6. Hopefully she just jumps out and she's not too far off the speed. Rose Hill's a tricky track, but look, last start she was in second gear. I think she had a little bit left. Like you said, the spacing's perfect, and you know, Ken Kelso, he's travelled her before, and she's turned up in the Australian Guineas.
She really has. Well, Aidan, we saw how the Kiwis fared in Melbourne last Saturday. Are you with the Kiwi to take out the Golden Eagle? I
have to be as parochial as we are. We're going to stick with her. We know she's got the quality. You know, she possesses that blistering finish, and we know it's been used to effect here in Australia already. Obviously, a little bit different going the right-handed way of Sydney, but fingers crossed she can get the job done for us over there this weekend.
Yeah, I love Legato. Look, Amelia's Jewel's drawn 5. If Mickey D can just grab onto her tail, it's going to be some race. And look, I'm confident that she can take this race out.
Yeah, go the Kiwi. She's boosted as well with the New Zealand TAB to run top 3 at $3.20 if you don't want to take her on the nose. And we'll catch you, Aidan, nice and early too on the Punters Lounge Live on Saturday. Don't miss it. To have a look at the best of the rest in New Zealand, and of course our other domestic meeting is out of Tauranga, so we'll head to the man to the side of me here. And what about the weather and track conditions on Saturday, Leith? Yeah,
we go to a soft 7 on Saturday. Tauranga, the track's in the true position. Look, there is a bit of rain forecast tomorrow. There's supposed to be between 10 and 15 mils, so look, hopefully that doesn't come. They've had 52 mils in the last week, but you're probably going to sit on that soft sort of 6, 7 come race day.
Well, let's have a look at the race we want to touch on first. It is race number 5, the Open Handicap over the 1,400 metres, sponsored by the Flying Mullet Sports Bar, and Riadini at $4.50 the fave. Brando at $5 along with Mercurial, and Packing Rockstar just pushing out to the $6.50 in the market. Let's take you back to the Group 3 Swainess Stakes. 3 of the runners coming out of this race, Leith. Who caught your eye?
Yeah, I really liked the runner, Roy Deeney. Look, he was caught out wide the whole race, and look, they ran really fast time sectionals the whole race, and look, he was good late. The steps of 1,400 metres is going to be a big plus, and he's going to take a lot of benefit from his first up run.
And he's just hitting the line very nicely over the 1,200 metres, so stepping up to the 14, as you alluded to, looks really handy.
And the soft track's going to be a big help to him as well. Look, he's won on the course albeit 4 or 5 years ago. But look, I think he's well placed in this race.
Well, second favourite is Brando for Team Tiako. He has the claim on him as well, and we'll take you back to him running third at Tarapa. Nice run here, Leith, making up ground in behind Pearl of Alsace.
Yeah, good form out of the race. Look, he was a little bit unlucky. Jess Allen gets on this week, so he gets the 3 kilos off his back, so he's down to 59. The main thing is he really loves Tauranga. He's had 4 starts here for 2 wins and a placing. So, yeah, the trip back into 1400 metres should suit him, but they'll have him spot on for this race.
And is it between those two for you?
Look, it's a pretty handy sort of field. Miracle's got a good draw. Sam Spratt for Stephen Marsh. But I think, look, I'll just have Roy Deeney just on top, I think. You know, the second up's a good, you know, he's won before second up, 1400 metres, Ace Lawson on, gets him with 57.5 kilos, and look, he's going to strip a lot fitter than last start.
There you go, that's what Leith likes in race 5. Let's take you now to the 3-year-olds. This is race number 2 over the 1200 metres, and Onera Kids betting at 2.10, Kukullen at $5, Toss You Forward at 5s, and Charmer $6.50. This is a really nice field, Leith, and we want to take you back to Onera first for Cody Cole. Good run in the Gold Trail Stakes for third. What did you make of the recent trial?
Yeah, the trial was good. Look, she's just had a nice easy time just outside the leader. Look, she's drawn barrier 9 on Saturday, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. There's a little bit of speed inside her, and it's good to see Matt Cameron back at the races, and I think he can just posse just outside the pace, and look, she does handle that sort of soft going as well.
And she the one for you on top?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. She's pretty short at $2.10, but you know, Toss You Forward was okay last start. She's won on at the track Tauranga with Michael McNabb on, so she looks like the main danger for Onera for sure.
One of the ones Leith is really liking. That's race number 2 out of Tauranga in the first race, nice and early, 11:55. Make sure you don't miss it. It's on TAB Trackside 1 on Saturday. Time for a harness preview on the form, and as usual I'm joined by Craig Thompson. And Craig, it's the last week for runners to really get a hit out at Addington on Friday night, and we see some of the Cup runners make their way around.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning to you, Philippa. Good morning to the form viewers. Yeah, obviously a Republican Party who has a final hit out. Of course, barrier draw next Wednesday for the Cup, and of course the Cup trial next Wednesday as well. So really good undercard. Looking forward to the night.
Well, let's start with race number 5. This is the SENZ New Zealand Trotting Stakes for the 2-year-olds, and it is headed up by Head 'em Up at $3, a Fine Patrick at $4 in the market, Princess Sadie at $5.50. But the one we want to have a look at, Craig, is for the All-Stars, Look to the Stars, at a nice price at $6. Comes out of a key race here last time, beating race rival Head 'em Up, who's fave.
Different draw this week because he actually goes to the unruly. He started from barrier 2. So the awesome highlighting Look to the Stars in front here. Worked forward, grabbed the lead. Very similar barrier draw for Head 'em Up. He drew barrier 1, got crossed at the start here. I think he'll get a little out of the gate a little bit better this week, Head 'em Up, with that run under his belt. And he went to Kaikoura just to take the edge off him during the week. Like the horse in the centre of the track that ran on nicely, that's a Fine Patrick. Zach Butcher picks up the drive with John Dunn being suspended. Thought he found the line quite nicely. They're very much an even bunch at the moment. There's no standouts. Very much comes to barrier draws. And with Look to the Stars going now to the unruly, loses that advantage that he had from barrier 2 last week. So I've kind of leant towards Head 'em Up from the inside. I think the big improver, though is the Craig and Amy Edmonds runner and a Fine Patrick. Really like the way it found the line last start.
There you go. Those are the 2 Craigs liking in race number 5. Now let's move on to the Stora Motors over the 2600 metres. It does feature Republican Party, and boy, he was pretty eye-catching taking ground off Akuta in the Flying Stakes.
Well, he was. It's been a great form race, isn't it? Because Akuta's gone on to win the Kaikoura Cup. Republican Party smoking home down the outside of the track. Can go there, just battling away into third. He made up nice ground. Of course, he won the Canterbury Classic and won it nicely after stepping and finding the trail. He's really on the up and up. Of course, he won the Junior Freefall this time last year at Addington Raceway. He's chased home Akuta in the Derby. Ran home in 54 seconds in that event. He picks himself, but he beat a very short quote. There's no fixed odds to record. What I would say is I didn't mind winning this event in McAndrew Aviator. Going back and have a look at the Canterbury Classic sectionals out of that race, the best last mile in that race was Akuta. The second best was McAndrew Aviator, and he actually ran the best half and best last quarter. And he worked twice in the race where obviously Republican Party sat in the trail. So he's got a 10-metre advantage over Republican Party this week, McAndrew Aviator. If you want to play something outside the favourite, I don't mind him. Matthew Williamson drives.
There you go, at a nice price as well. Now let's have a look at the Hydroflow handicap trot, and it does feature the very talented Bolt for Brilliance. We saw what he did at Alexandra Park, resuming Craig, and then just things went wrong at Addington.
Yeah, unusual. He didn't normally make a mistake, but he was brilliant this night at Auckland. First up, setting up a New Zealand record, beating Gazman by a huge margin here. Then he went to Addington. Yeah, he came around that last bend. He came around very quickly, and he just became unbalanced, and he galloped. He's off 30-metre mark. It's not going to be easy for him, but you know his quality. Hitting into a Dominion handicap, I think he just needs to get a bit of confidence back, and he can't be too far off them. Even though he's off 30, there's only 6 other rivals here, so class will take him a long way. So I suppose it depends on what price you want to take. And
while you mentioned a runner rivals in the race, what about a runner like Smoke and Bander in the field?
Well, he was our tip here last time to test Muscle Mountain. He couldn't test him, but he was very good in running second, the Grey Flash. I mean, he had to sit parked out behind Muscle Mountain. They rocketed a very quick 1,700 metres. Come up a nice trial. He's off the front. He ran second this time last year to Muscle Mountain in the Canterbury Classic. I do think he's a horse that if he found the front, he's a rolling type, and we know he can run a 56 last half. It's just how close Bolt's going to get to him. They look the two. Chuck and I dream of Jenny maybe for a little bit of value in the race, but yeah, it's very hard to tip against Bolt for Brilliance.
He certainly is. He's such a real good horse, isn't he? And of course, I have to touch on race number 4. This is a hot field. It is the Carl Forrester Memorial trot here, a mobile pace, over the 2,600 metres, and we're having a look here at the unbeaten Ahoka Connor, and boy, he looked like he returned in good fettle.
Well, this is an exceptionally good race. I know there's some highlighted races on the night, but this is the My Sky race of the night. This is an absolute cracker. This horse is unbeaten, 6 from 6, 2 trials this time in. He's won both of them. His last run was in the Supremacy at Invercargill. He sat outside Wag Star and he beat him fairly and squarely in a very good time. He's come back like an absolute giant. And yet I'm not convinced he's a winner in this race. You've got Franco Sinatra, Franco Indy, Who's Delight, Hoka LeBron, Don Maro. Where does it stop? I can keep going. I think it's a tricky race for him. I'll tip him on top because it's more heart over head, just because he's got that little bit of that cult following, has Ahoka Connor. If I had to say the one that probably appeals to me a little bit more just with race fitness is Franco Sinatra, but gee, that's going to be a great race. Mark that down. That's like a junior free-for-all on Cup Day.
There you go, probably the race of the night as far as the quality in it. That's race number 4. The first race from Addington gets underway at 4:45. Do not miss it, just 1 week away from Cup Week.
And then Bow Hill and Ain't Bad starting to release down the outside. Down on the inside, Harnikins of Jelly. Bow Hill's trying to dash at them with Ain't Bad. They hit it. Ain't Bad, I think, on the outside. Bow Hill.
Photo in race 8. There's a dead heat between 2 Bow Street and 10 Ain't It Bad.
A win shared is still a win, and that was Bevan Sweeney's best bet of the week last week on the form. So we're going to start with you this week, Bevan Sweeney. Who have you found for us this week?
Going back to a race tracker from Hastings for guy Larry Kendall, who had a lot of money on it in the last day of the Spring Carnival, and it was poleaxed at around the 300 metre mark. I think it would have won if that didn't happen to it. It's in race number 3 at Trentham with a couple of kilos coming off with Lily Sutherland doing the riding. Any sort of luck? I think Kendall's a winner Saturday.
I'm going to take you to race 2 at Tauranga on Saturday, O'Nera. Look, she's drawn barrier 9 of 9, but she should be after Posy just outside the leaders. Soft track's not a problem, and you have a $2.10. It's a small odds, but it'd be sweet.
I was really taken by the run of Boomtown Boy last time out. Came from a mile back and really attacked the line, and I thought looked to be very, very hard to beat this weekend.
Oh, we like that one at Trentham. We've got a couple, and I'm going to head to Friday at Addington for a change, and take you to the Galaxy Heats. Aston Kennett, now he ran second in the Auckland Cup over the 5.27. He drops back to the 2.95. He's going to take on the Galaxy, and he had a trial at Hattrick. He went around 17.36. That tells me that he's right and ready to go, and he's $8 in the futures market, so he's my best bet on Friday in race number 7. I'll start us off Nera for Leith at Tauranga on Saturday, meeting code 2. Race number 2, Aiden Boomtown Boy at Trentham, Candle also at Trentham, and Darren for the Whale at Invercargill on Sunday. That is the best bets for the weekend, and that concludes the show as well. So much to look forward to, so thanks team for joining us. Aiden, we look forward to your coverage coverage across the Tasman this weekend. Looking forward to touching in with those Kiwis, and hopefully Ladies Man can make the Melbourne Cup as well. Good luck to the Kiwis in Australia. We'll catch you back in 2 weeks' time. Until then, happy punting.